So the atmosphere continuing to build in anticipation of these introductions.
In partnership with Bet365, Village Hotels, Wow Hydrate, and Version 2. Boxing fans, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Utilita Arena, Boxer by Ben Shalom on Sky Sports Boxing. It's set to go 10 rounds for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. We're introducing the blue corner, the challenger. Wearing the white, gold, and black shorts and standing 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in at 11 stone, 4 pounds and 8 ounces. As a professional, 12 career victories, 5 by way of knockout against 3 losses. Fighting out of Belgium, introducing your challenger, Femke Hermans. And now, your champion in the red corner. Wearing the white shorts with red trim. And standing 5 feet 11 and 1/2 inches tall. She weighed in 11 stone 5 pounds. As a professional, a flawless record of 11 victories, 9 by way of knockout. Introducing from Hartlepool, Northeast England, your defending WBO middleweight champion of the world, Savannah Marshall. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Howard Foster.
So Howard Foster brings both boxers to the ring.
In the dressing room, both I expect, keep it clean break straight away when told. Both you watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Well, during that stare down, what is immediately apparent is the towering height advantage that Savannah Marshall possesses. Both boxers have retreated to their corner. All seconds and extras have left the ring, and we are just moments away from the opening bell in this world title fight in the women's middleweight division. So here we go then, 10 two-minute rounds for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. The champion, Savannah Marshall, out to center ring immediately, wearing white trunks trimmed with red. Femke Hermans wearing predominantly black trunks trimmed with black and with gold and white. She's wearing black leggings as well, and a pair of white boots, but it's Savannah Marshall with her hands down by her belt line, cutting a very loose, relaxed figure. Femke Hermans bobbing on the perimeter, just looking to avoid a long left jab that is being flicked out by Savannah Marshall. Neither boxer has yet found the range. A 1-2 attempted by Hermans, but she didn't really commit to it, and it was short by some distance. Long spearing left hand to the body at center ring from Savannah Marshall. And again, approaching the midpoint of the opening round, women's boxing contested over 2-minute rounds. And Savannah Marshall continuing to dominate center ring with her presence and her posture. Tried a flashy corkscrew right uppercut to the body, but didn't find the range. Hermans continuing to shape in front of her opponent, right hand by her chin, left hand by her belt line, comes forward with a double left jab as the two boxers operating exclusively on top of the logo in ring center. Good right hand to the body was a long straight shot, palm down to the canvas from Savannah Marshall. Hermans pinned to the ropes at the 9 o'clock position on this left-hand side of the ring. Our commentary position is at around the 7 o'clock figure on the clock face. And now it's back at center ring once again. Hermans continuing to bob and weave. Marshall getting to work with a left jab now and found the range wonderfully on a double left jab upstairs. Doubling it up once again, but she's using it as a range finder with that right hand cocked by her pec, just locked and ready to uncoil. But she's starting to measure her opponent effectively with the lead left now. And Hermans tries a speculative right-hand lead, but it was parried by the left glove of Savannah Marshall. Closing seconds of the opening round. And Marshall scores with a good left jab to the body. It was countered by a glancing right hand over the top from Hermans. And it's Marshall ending the round on the front foot, and a long lancing right cross catches Hermans on her temple. First 2 minutes in the book.
An extremely relaxed Savannah Marshall. She always gets relaxed. She generally takes a couple of rounds. And something occurred to me, the pair of you, and it just occurred to me, and I jotted it down. When was the last time that we talked about the next fight for as long and so aggressively as though it was made, as we have Marshall and Shields. You know that expression, I don't want to look at the next fight, I don't want to take my eyes off it. I can't remember the last time we did that, not just for a women's fight, for any fight. She needs to be a bit more focused. She looks a bit just too relaxed for me, Hannah. Or am I being paranoid?
I think, yeah, she's looking very relaxed in there, and I was quite surprised at actually how quite relaxed she was, but you know, that is her style. She flows, you know, she flows.
It is now.
Yeah, she flows, she lets it go, and like, you know, she looked calm in there, whereas I don't feel like Hermans looked very calm.
No, Hermans looked like it was the last round and it was the final lap in a race.
Absolutely.
So into the second round we go. This contest was originally scheduled for April of 2021, but Hermans had to withdraw in fight week after her coach tested positive for COVID-19. Marshall fought Maria Lundberg on that week instead, as she gets to work with a right hand over near the blue corner on this near side of the ring. And now it's Marshall getting onto the front foot, looking to pin Hermans to the strands, and she's got her backing up towards the blue corner once again, looking altogether more authoritative with that left jab, drops down and scores with it to the body, a single to the abdomen of Hermans. Hermans with her hair braided, it's a ponytail over her shoulders. Savannah Marshall sporting braids as well, and she is cutting an incredibly relaxed figure, bobbing, weaving, almost as though she's working on a heavy bag rather than making a defense of her hard-won WBO title. 50 seconds gone in this second round. Good right hand behind the left jab, snaps the head back of Femke Hermans. It was over near the red corner on the far side of the ring. Hermans, using good footwork, retreats to her right in an anti-clockwise direction to the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. But now it's back at punching distance. Good right hand landed by Hermans. Even though she's a shorter boxer, she found a range with a long straight right cross. Then she turned southpaw, and then she used quick footwork to spin off the ropes at around figure 5 on the clock face. Made Marshall look rather ponderous as she swung and missed with an overhand right. Hermans has turned southpaw once again, so too has Marshall momentarily, but now she's back as an orthodox boxer. Now Marshall southpaw once again, flicking out a right jab. Now she's back orthodox, that center ring, looks for a left jab. Good right uppercut on the inside from Hermans. That got the attention of Savannah Marshall. She's responding by getting over the front foot and walking her opponent down behind a stiff left jab. He came out 3 times and a right hand was in there as well. Hermans trying a left or cut the ropes off the ropes at figure 6 on the clock face. 10-second clapper is sounded as Marshall turns southpaw, comes forward with the right jab. Hermans skips out of the neutral corner on this near side of the ring and has success with the right uppercut once again. 2 shots swung and missed by Savannah Marshall to conclude that second round. Herman having pockets of success as Marshall continues to look relaxed. Hannah Rankin.
Absolutely, and this is what I thought that, you know, Savannah would find a little bit difficult with Femke, is that Femke's got an awkward style. She likes to switch hit, and I think that's to her advantage because Savannah also likes to switch as well. So it's keeping Savannah having to think and find the openings and, you know, stay on her toes.
I think Femke's a better switcher than Savannah, if you want my spin. I think Savannah looked a bit, she was switching. It's fine switching, but you've got to do it in a fluid motion.
Yeah.
Not throw a punch, take a pause, switch your feet, throw another punch. It's got to be one fluid motion.
Yeah.
It's quite simple, which she didn't do there. She was changing, and in fact, she got caught a couple of times in the change. But the right hand, Femke got hit with a right hand there, and her legs crossed, and she went to the ropes. That was the power shot. I'm not calling the fight yet, Hannah. Don't worry. I don't make predictions till about round 4, mate. Don't worry about that. And if it ends in round 3, I said I was going to tell you that in round 4. Get with the program, Hannah Rankin, please.
So into the third round we go. Savannah Marshall marching across the center ring, and for the first time in the contest, the boxers testing the strength of one another on the inside, despite being a towering 5'11.5" at middleweight. A very effective operator on the inside is Savannah Marshall, and now she's looking to advance behind big strides once again, bobbing and weaving her way forwards. Marshall looking for a right uppercut, partially blocked by the left glove of Femke Hermans. 2 boxers wrestling on the inside. Howard Foster separates the 2, and the action returns to center ring. But it's Marshall bobbing, weaving, jamming on that front foot, pins Hermans in the neutral corner and scores with the left hook. And then as Hermans is trying to dance away to her right, she was caught by a right hook. And now it's Hermans turning the table, putting Marshall in the neutral corner, firing away with bent arm shots, but couldn't find a range. And Hermans just evading the right cross of Marshall once again, causing it to go over her shoulder, and then comes back with arcing punches of her own. The action near the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Hermans slipping across the ropes to her right to figure 6 on the clock face. Now she's moving in a clockwise fashion to her left, but she's looking rather ragged as she eats another long left jab from Marshall. And Marshall is just eating up the ring space like packed Pac-Man, or Pac-Woman, to be more accurate, gobbling up the space in front of her, and Hermans is having difficulty keeping her off. 30 seconds to go in this third round. Another jolting left jab drives Hermans backwards. Marshall goes in search of a right uppercut to the body, but couldn't quite find the range. The face of Hermans is reddened by the flicking left jab being poked out by Savannah Marshall, and Marshall, her physicality, just dominating the proceedings as she turned southpaw, and while her feet were switching, she scored with a long raking right jab, looking for the double right hand once again, but the left hook which followed got around the right glove of Femke Hermans, who's in danger of being overwhelmed, and she's hit by a solid shot, and the rope kept Femke Hermans up. She did a good job to remain upright. Oh, a beautiful left hook right on the bell from Savannah Marshall, and Femke Hermans has been laid out cold. As the bell sounded in the third round, it's an 8th consecutive knockout victory for Savannah Marshall, who makes a successful third defense of her WBO middleweight title. But again, we have to temper the celebrations that the crowd are engaging in here, because Femke Hermans was laid out by a single solitary left hook which was perfectly placed, and her back was the first thing to hit the canvas, such was the force of the shot. She's been tended to by the medics in attendance here at the Utility Arena in Newcastle. She's up on her feet, which is always good to see. She's taking a seat on a stool which has been placed into the neutral corner, just to the left of our commentary position, in the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. And Savannah Marshall and Peter Fury over in the red corner, just subduing their celebrations as they wait to see what type of condition Femke Hermans is in. But in that round, Steve, Savannah Marshall began to assert herself, and the finishing shot was exquisite indeed.
All she did was get closer, and then she started to cut the ring off, which she hadn't done in most of the second round. She didn't do it at all in the first. And she was looking for that shot. She'd switched around, she'd switched styles, but she'd done it in close. She'd changed it from being a bit herky-jerky to it being smooth. And suddenly we saw Femke there. Suddenly just looked like it was the 12th round. Looked like she was exhausted, started to panic. There was a look of fear in her eyes, a bit of confusion. She was pushed around the ring, and she was finished with one clean shot. Ronald, no one else is doing this in the women's game. Let's get that absolutely right. No one is stopping people like this. No one is dropping people like this. No one is hurting previously durable and unstoppable women like her. She is leading some kind of puncher's revolution. And we've been saying in private, let's get it right, in boxing chambers, boxing people have been saying in private, yeah, that's okay, but they don't bang. And they being women, correct or not? Some of us won't want to own up to that. I'm going to own up to it. I've said loads of times, I love watching her, I love watching her, I love watching her. I just wish one of them could bang. Well, in that corner over there now, we found one that can bang. Her name's Savannah Marshall. She's changing the game for women's boxing, Ronald. It's that simple.
Yep, lights out power demonstrated by Savannah Marshall. A single left hook uncoiled, laying Femke Hermans flat on her back on the canvas. Her record falls to 12-4, another unsuccessful world title bid. But what is notable is that Savannah Marshall becomes the first woman to stop Femke Hermans, and she did it in emphatic fashion and a ranking.
Absolutely. You could see that she was starting to get on top of Femke, and Femke wasn't able to deal with the pressure, and obviously the size was starting to play a difference as well, and the power of those punches, and she was rocking and rolling too much, came up the wrong way, and there we go. That was that big left hook. She came into it, almost doubled the impact. Heavy knockdown, and I hope to see it. I'm glad to see that she's standing up and she looks okay, but she's very frustrated, as you can tell. But you know, the writing was on the wall, the pressure was on.
And some of that, Ronald, she did with her feet and just her physical presence. Sure, she was hitting her with right hand. Sure, she was trying to hit her with left hooks, and when she switched to southpaw, she was hitting her with left crosses. But a lot of that pressure was almost, I want to use this, it was almost like it was mental pressure. She was getting her feet in the way. She was cutting off Femke's way of retreating. And that is exhausting. That is damaging. And that's what leads to that type of knockout. That was beautiful.
Well, both boxers moving to centre ring now. Femke Hermans got control of her coordination as we await the announcement that will declare Savannah Marshall is still the WBO middleweight champion of the world, and that now paves the way for a super fight, a showdown for all of the middleweight belts against the three-weight, two-time undisputed champion Savannah Claressa Shields. Here's the verdict.
This contest came to a halt in favor of your winner by knockout, and still your WBO